If you're trying to add value into your preschool program, but you're running up empty on ideas, I've got a great one for you. I suggest that you add a Spanish curriculum into your preschool. But wait, I don't even know how to speak Spanish, Joy. That's okay. We've got a solution for you today to help you add Spanish into your preschool program, even if you've never taught Spanish or spoken it in your life. Welcome back to the Preschool All-Stars podcast. I'm your host, Joy Anderson. I am joined today by my good friend, Anna Yavorsky. She started her own preschool back in 2019, and she ran it locally for a year before COVID, and then she moved it online virtually. She was able to teach hundreds of students with her Spanish curriculum. In fact, she even created a Spanish curriculum for adults and a version for preschoolers as well. We are so excited to have you on our podcast today. So Anna, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you so much, Joy. I'm happy to be here.
So the way that I actually found out about you was you slid into my DMs and you're like, Joy, I've got an idea for you. And you actually like blew me away with your idea. Not many people, come to serve. You showed up to serve. Anna slid into my DMs and she said, Joy, I've got a 8-week Spanish curriculum for your preschool owners, and I would love to just have them go through it. And I was like, for free? And you're like, yeah, for free. I was like, that is killer. That is awesome. I absolutely love that. And so my preschool all-stars have actually been going through your curriculum as we speak. I'm getting amazing, amazing comments from it. They are absolutely loving everything you're doing. So super excited that you slid into my DMs and we could have this opportunity to chat, because what you're doing, being able to bring the Spanish curriculum into otherwise preschools that would never be able to offer it. I mean, I took like a semester of Spanish in college, but I can pretty much hold a conversation with my 8-year-old who's taking Spanish in elementary, not much more. So super glad. Now, what led you to want to develop this in 2019 though?
Well, this is the core program I teach directly to other preschoolers, and it's not actually for 8 weeks. The conversations that we are having with all-star teachers, it's about 8 weeks, 5 to 8 weeks, where we are kind of training them how to use it. But the core program is for the whole school year. They can use the program for the 9 months that they are working with the students. So what brought me to do it, put together this program, is because after COVID, I have to reinvent everything and trying to find a way how I still reach those students in other preschools when I was going to daycares or preschools to teach, and I couldn't do it anymore. I still wanted to be able to serve these families. And the only way it was bringing everything online and put the program, share it directly with the preschool owners so they can use it and share and teach more students. It's just a way to multiply what I was able to do locally and being able to offer that to other preschoolers, because not many preschools offer a second language. And I believe that if you teach the language to little ones, it's the best option. So they are going to grasp that information without so much effort.
I've heard that children do learn the foreign language best if they're taught in their, infancy and young years, toddlers, preschool. What do you think is like the perfect window to be able to teach a foreign language to a child?
Perfect time is when they are from babies up to 6 years old, because everything is absorbed directly with music, with play, with craft, with activities. You don't have to explain grammar. You don't have to explain all of this reading and writing. You just teach them how to sing, how to understand, and how to speak it. So it's like when the kids are in preschool, they are just learning songs, memorizing songs, and learning through a game, through an activity. It's the same concept when you are teaching a language. It's the beauty that they just get the information without effort.
Oh, totally. I mean, if I was thinking back to my college days of learning, Spanish, you think, well, how is it spelled? How is the alphabet different? Which words get reversed in like syntax versus like, we're just playing and dancing and singing songs, but we're realizing that do they realize that there's 2 words for things like That's our, English word and that's our Spanish word. Can they differentiate? There's the two different words.
There is a part of the brain where they, after a couple of weeks, when they know who is speaking what, there is a part of the brain that completely divides. Okay, this person is speaking something different and is showing me something, and the teacher is showing me that the same thing is something else. I mean, let me just put two pens. So if the preschool teacher said this is a pen, the Spanish teacher says una pluma. So there is the moment in the brain where it says, oh, there you go. It's two words for the same thing. And then they start just, okay, when she's speaking, I understand what she's saying. And when she's speaking, I understand what she's saying. When you use the visuals and when you use the concepts around them.
That's awesome. So the whole concept of our podcast episode today, which I know everybody is enthralled to understand, like, how can we actually teach a Spanish or a different language curriculum if we have never spoken it, if we don't know how to teach it? That's truly the question, because usually as teachers, we need to know the concept best enough that we can teach it, right? So how in the world can we do a Spanish curriculum if I can barely get along with a couple words?
That is why I created this Mi Rincón de Español, my Spanish corner, because it's kind of bringing myself to the classroom. It's the teachers are facilitators in this case, or the preschool owners are the facilitators when I come in and I teach. So what I've been doing with All-Star students, your members, is teaching them how they can use my curriculum. So the first, let's say one lesson, it has 3 videos. The first video, I'm going to be speaking English and Spanish, explaining what it is. The second video is going to be completely in Spanish, but we are going to be working on the same theme or the same material using an activity, a craft. And then the third time, it's going to be a video when I'm just going to be singing. So all those 3 steps using signing and visuals and an activity, it helps the children to understand and learn. But they are learning with the children. So what they do is like, I let them know, in this video, I'm going to be doing this. I'm going to be using popsicle sticks. I'm going to be using green paint. I'm going to be using paper, scissors. So you will have to have those materials ready. So when I come in with the library in the classroom, you have everything ready for them. So Miss Ana is saying, ¿Dónde está tu lápiz? Where is your pencil? I show them and they have to show me, because I ask them, show me your pencil. ¿Dónde está el lápiz? And I pretend I'm looking at them. Most of my students are like, the moms who even purchased the program say, my children is speaking to the computer like she's speaking with you. She's showing to the computer whatever you're asking them to show, because I train them. The beginning is a training process where the child knows what my signs mean, what my questions mean. So that is how the ones who don't speak Spanish can teach Spanish, because I am the support there. I am the bridge helping them with the language.
Okay, and I think that was the key component there. You are the bridge, but you are the Spanish teacher. So for everyone who's listening, hopefully I can make this make sense, because I didn't understand it at first. I was like, everybody's DMing me right now saying, wait, but I don't know how to teach Spanish. So how am I supposed to add this into my class, Joy? I want to do it, but I don't understand. I was like, let me break it down. The concept is you show these videos that you've already pre-recorded, Anna, teaching the children through the computer. Not like you see the children, but you're speaking directly to them as if they were right in front of you. You get to show them these videos of you teaching Spanish and English at the same time to these students. And so that way, if you're teaching locally or if you're teaching online, all you have to do is put on the video of Anna teaching Spanish. And all of a sudden, you've added that Spanish curriculum into your program, which adds massive value to preschool's programs. I mean, just to be able to say, oh, hey, by the way, do you also want to have your child learn Spanish? Because we've got like the premier Spanish teacher over here going to help your kiddo through this 9-month curriculum. Mind blown. I love it. That's so ingenious.
Yeah. And I'm coming every week with different lessons. And I even, I've been talking to the All-Stars moms who come to the meetings, and they are adding the songs that they have been learning into their circle times. So if they are singing the colors, or they are singing the ABCs, or they are singing about pets, or any theme that they are working, I always suggest them just sing what you have ready and go ahead and sing what we have already for the Spanish, if it's already taught. So they can just leave the language. The idea is that they can leave the language.
I love that. So they're learning right alongside the kiddos. They're bringing those components into their other teaching times as well. Circle time. I mean, you could incorporate it through your entire preschool day. Now, you said there were 3 lessons that you would have kind of on a specific subject. Would you recommend that that is 3 lessons per week? Is that the idea?
At the beginning, no. With this program, what I'm trying to do is that because they are non-Spanish speakers, it's one theme a week. It's one theme, and that one theme has 3 videos or 3 parts. It's the same thing. What we're doing is one theme a week until they master that theme. Then the next week, we can try the next one. And then the one that we learned last week always has a song attached to the class. So the next week, they're going to be singing that song that they were singing all week, plus the new one. And that is how we are building and building and building.
Now, there was something you did super unique because I saw some of your videos. You were signing, right? Do you incorporate sign language into, I mean, that's a 3rd language. How are we doing this? How are we learning English and Spanish and sign language? Can you help me understand like that component?
Yeah. Well, signing has been key for me because when I used to do the mommy and me classes, I realized that when they had the babies, they brought the toddlers for the class for the toddlers, and then they had the little ones. And the moms, if they wanted to say something, they start signing, more milk and blah, blah. So, and I said, well, if I can grasp what they know as a baby or as a 1, 2, 3-year-old with the signing they learned already when they were little, that helps for them to even understand faster. So they know this is more. I say more más. And then if they know they have to think, if they have to sing, this mama, papa. So that is just a beautiful thing. They already know some, or it's a lot easier for them to sign at the beginning. So I teach them to sign the way how I sign through the class. And then we play a little game with that. And then after that, they will see me speaking Spanish, and they might not understand everything, but when I start signing, they're like, oh, that means that, and the brain, it's just connecting everything. It is just a beautiful thing.
I tell you, it's a phenomenal concept, right? I mean, it blows my mind just because I'm not a linguistic person to be able to understand this, but this is amazing. So do you recommend that you say the English word first and then the Spanish word? Is it kind of like sign English, Spanish, or does it matter?
The signing comes first because they need to know what I'm going to be doing. If they were not taught some sign language, they will know that first. Now, I'm not talking about a big range of sign language, right? It's the basic things that I need to use through a class, like listen, repeat. I have a technique that it's very effective that I even taught my children, that I kind of learned it with my own children when I was raising them bilingual. I always touch my chin, and then I teach them every time mommy touches her chin, that means that you have to say it in Spanish, right? So the same thing I brought it to, that's part of the signings that I teach to my students. My students know, every single student I teach them, when Miss Anna touches her chin and puts her hand behind here, that means that you have to repeat in Spanish what Miss Anna is saying. Okay? And there is a moment when they start touching their chin on their own. And then even if I don't touch their chin and I say, and they just repeat, or they are watching the video and they're going through the class and they are doing the things and they are repeating because I asked them, oh, ¿dónde está? Escucho. And they repeat. So the signing is, it's really key on the way how I teach. That is how I learn how to teach it. I don't know how other teachers do it. Everybody has different ways to do it, but what I brought into the classroom was my experience with my own children, because I wanted to make sure they were speaking the language.
Oh, definitely. So can you help us understand, like, what is the benefit to be able to have a bilingual child grow up in the world? Like, how is that going to benefit them if they continue learning and building, and all of a sudden, come high school and time to, enter the workforce and even go to college, things like that? What opens up now that they have this second language or even multiple languages?
There are many factors or many benefits that they can get, but what I see the most is tolerance with other students or with other families that they will see. They can help them understand. They can help communicate. In my case, my children can communicate with my family, who is always doing online stuff. One time, my husband had an accident, and he was taking my daughters to school, and the person that hit our car was a Spanish speaker that didn't speak any English. So the police came and everybody came, and my husband said, "But I don't speak." And my daughter was like, "Dad, I can help." So she was helping the police with my husband, trying to explain what happened and helping this person that couldn't communicate. So even a child is able to help the community in a moment of need, assist somebody in a moment of need. And if they go to the workforce and later, if they decide to keep studying and learning, they will be able to get, a different type of job. I tell my daughters, if when you graduate from high school, you have the option, or you go to work for McDonald's or go and be an interpreter, make at least $22 an hour. You already speak the language. You already know how to do this. So you give them a tool. It's a tool that you are giving them. Just like when moms or dads they send the children to ballet and gymnastics, they gives them a skill, right? To be, I don't know, more flexible, more healthier, things like that. But if you give them a tool like this, it's an instrument for their life. So that's another benefit. They are a lot better thinkers. They can think differently. They can solve problems faster because they already have like a GPS. If you don't go this way, you go to the other one. Their brain are being developed in two hemispheres, and it's easier and faster.
Okay, so now we've talked about how English speakers can learn Spanish, but does your program conversely work with Spanish speakers who could also learn English with your program?
No, because my program is mainly teaching Spanish to non-Spanish speakers.
Gotcha.
The program that I am right now talking about, right, my Spanish Corner, which is for the preschoolers. But I do have a program that it's for Spanish speakers, but that is in another. It's something else. I don't teach English to Spanish speakers, not as a program.
Yeah, I understand. Awesome. So, is there an experience that you had that you can look back to and say, "Man, I'm so glad I created this, because if I hadn't created it, this wouldn't have happened." I mean, sometimes we can look back at all the lives that we've blessed, right? And really feel a sense of just, I don't know, just happiness on how many lives we've blessed. So, is there an experience or a story that you're just like so glad you created this?
I have been able to work with families that I wouldn't be able to touch before. There are so many people that I had in my following that were outside of Ohio. I mean, outside of Cincinnati, because I was serving only my local area, right? Cincinnati. Whoever who could drive to my studio would drive to the classes. But outside of my city or my area, I couldn't teach because I couldn't be anywhere else. And I had a lot of family texting me, I wish we have a Spanish playlist over here from California, from New York, from Arizona. I'm like, oh, well, and I just kept telling them, what I can do right now is just explain to you what you could do with your child. I didn't have all the pieces together. I created this because of my own need. I wanted my children to become bilingual and start teaching them from the time they were little. And that is something that I would share just in conversations until COVID came. And it's true that COVID was part of a hit for the whole community, for everybody in the world. But it's also brought blessings to so many families that have been able to, like me, or so many businesses, that we have to pivot and do something new. We have to reinvent ourselves to be able to keep serving the same people and allow us to expand and help other families who are in the same position, who want to expose their children to the language, who wants more music, who wants more activities, who wants more exposure, daily exposure. And now that I do it like that, I've been able to work with other preschool owners, like in the case with you, Joy. And I'm very, very grateful also for that opportunity. If I didn't do this, I wouldn't have that idea, wouldn't show up in my mind, like, well, maybe I can reach out to Joy. And I kept thinking about it. I'm like, oh my goodness. And I keep thinking about you. You keep showing up on my feed. I'm like, why don't I just send her I had this voice like, shoot an email, shoot a message, just do it. I'm like, oh, okay, I'll do it. Because that is just, I'm like, okay, let's see. The worst thing is that she said, well, maybe not this time, right? But being able to create this online platform where I can teach multiple children and, around the world in this case, allowed me to serve more people, help more preschool owners, help more moms who wants to jump into the bilingual journey, and help them with the desire that they always wanted to. So that is my biggest takeaway right now, that I've been able to reach out to more moms, more preschool owners, and more children.
We are all so grateful that you did, because I know right now our preschool all stars are loving your curriculum. So our listeners, I'm sure, are going to want to know, where in the world can they find your curriculum so they can add Spanish into their preschool program and add value? Where can they go to find that?
To my website, SpanishPlaydates.com. In that website, you will have information about all the programs I have. I have two programs, one that is for the families and one that is for the preschool owners or new preschool owners, because I know we have a lot of new moms considering to be part of this journey, which is bringing the kids, being at home, bring the kids home and have some income, which is, that's how I started too. I did it for a while in my house. I would just pack my children if I have to go and teach. And the beauty of being able to have your children with you and keep working and have an income, it's just such a blessing, because you can still keep the children on your side. You can see their needs, and then you can still work, develop professionally. I know, and I know you know this, Joy, but I believe that every single mom who comes to the preschool All Star, it's not just they're gonna be business owners. It's just a wild ride where you discover yourself as a person. You discover what kind of things you can do and you didn't know. Your friends around or the moms around you are gonna help you to discover and see things that you don't see on your own. They can strengthen all your talents, your gifts, and it's just a personal growth that I believe, I truly believe, because that's also my journey, and I believe it's yours too. You grow as you walk. It's just a major thing for all those moms who would like to be part of, take things into their hands and create something. And when you have a plan, you have put together everything I did on my own. And it took me years to being able to, what do I do? How do I do it? Click here, click there, fine. But the moms who don't know, don't have a path, there is already a path written down by Joy. It's like, I wish I knew this time ago, because I discovered on my own, step by step, and just clicking But if the moms decide to make the decision just to say, okay, yes, I'm going to learn with Joy what I want to learn, what I'm supposed, whatever she's talking about, I want to learn it because I know a lot of moms have that. Like, should I? Maybe no. Doubting yourself, it's just say yes. Just like when I say yes to send an email to Joy, to send a DM to Joy, just say yes and discover because it's a path that we follow and we grow. And I don't even, that was the question.
No, that was great. And I loved what you said. You grow as you walk, right? It's in the doing comes the confidence. So thank you so much, Anna, for being here. If you would love to be part of her curriculum and add that into your program, make sure you go to SpanishPlaydates.com and look for My Spanish Corner so you can be able to add that into your program and add value. Once again, Anna, thanks so much.
Thank you so much, Joy. Have a good evening.
If you love today's episode, then you are going to love this. I want to give you a free gift in your hands. This is a copy of my book, Start Your Preschool, and I want to get it to you for free. Yes, I said for free. It is a 300-page book. It'll help you learn the step-by-step process to actually starting your local or your online preschool. Every single step that I walked myself through, as well as the thousands of women who've created their own successful preschools have gone through the exact steps listed in this book. Not to mention, I also share 20 amazing women's stories. So you can see how not only did it work for me, but it works for amazing women just like you as well. I want to get you this free copy. Just go to freepreschoolbook.com or click the link in the description and we'll get it to you today. Again, just go to freepreschoolbook.com and we'll get it right to you.